So good evening, everybody, and welcome to Almaty Toastmasters Club. I'd like to call our meeting to order. So it's good to see many familiar faces as well as some new faces here this evening. So as many of you know, Toastmasters is a club that meets in over 120 countries around the world and with over 12,000 different clubs. And we encourage you to check out our website, which Shokan, Aisha, and others have been working on, because we're posting videos from the meeting as well as videos explaining Toastmasters for your friends, and you can direct them to learn more about what Toastmasters is about. My name is Bartkoske. I'm the president of the club. I'll also be our Toastmaster this evening. As we begin tonight, if you can just have everyone just briefly just say your name, and if you're an officer, please explain your role as an officer as we go around. And we'll start here to my right.
Hi everyone, my name is Greg Diva. I'm the treasurer of the club, so I collect all the money and look after all the finances.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zeda Abdirahmanova. I'm the secretary of the club and carry out all secretarial responsibilities.
Hello everyone, my name is Esel. I'm not a membership yet, but I'm going to be in the future. So, nice to meet you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayim. I'm attending Toastmasters Club about 6 months, and just happy to be here. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jansaya, and it's my second time I came here, and my plan is to join this Toastmasters Club.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrei. I started to visit Toastmasters Club in 2011, but it was with wild causes.
Hello. My name is Janara. I'm here 1 month.
Hello everyone, my name is Anna and I am here to second time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea, and I'm the public relations officer of the club. It is my responsibility to make sure you are aware of our meetings. So if you have issues with email, please let us know, email announcements. And also if you have outsiders who want to learn more about the club, you can talk to any officers and direct any other questions to me.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Timur. I have been here once.
Everyone, what's up? My name is Gal, and we came here because we were eating around here, taking Kagak, no? I just remember that today is Toastmaster Day, and we came here. Yeah, that's why.
Hello everyone, good to see everyone. I'm here, I don't know, maybe since October I guess. Yeah, that's all.
Everyone, my name is Timur. I visit Toastmasters several times. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Clap for me.
Hello, my name is Umar. I was invited by Victoria and it's a great pleasure for me to participate in this club.
Hello everyone, my name is Yulia. This is my first time in Toastmaster. My English is very bad, but I хочу научиться.
My name is Shaijan. I'm actually since February this year. Nice to meet you.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Asel. I'm also official member of this club since this August. Good evening to everyone. I'm here for first time, I supposed to think, and I really enjoy being here.
Hello, my name is Sam, 23 years old. Hello, it's my first time and I'm excited.
Hello everyone, my name is Saidos and this is my third time here and I will have the ice-breaking speech.
Hi everyone, my name is Safa. I'm a student, it's my first time and I'm pleased to see a lot of different people here.
Hi everyone, my name is Saya. This is my second time here. I like Toastmasters Club. I found it very interesting and enjoyable.
Good evening, my name is Janar and I really like coming here and it's great to see the progress made by the participants of the club.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aisha. I'm a blogger of our club, and I usually report, post blogs about our meetings. And nice to see all of you here.
Hi everyone. My name is Gopar, and I'm official member of Toastmasters clubs since June this year.
Hi everyone, my name is Gohar too, so two Gohars. I joined Toastmasters this May and I think I became a member in June.
Hi fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, my name is Dorjan. It's been a couple of weeks since I joined this club. I really like to be here.
So I'm glad to hear that people like to be here because we like having you here. And what I like about Toastmasters, it's a place where the people who come, like yourself, are committed to developing yourselves, that you enjoy connecting with people, you enjoy sharing about yourself, you like to be positive. And that's one of the things about Toastmasters meetings. We like to encourage people in taking different roles, whether it's giving a speech, being an evaluator, being a timer, taking different roles. And so for today's meeting, there's 3 parts to the meeting. Prepared speeches, of which we have 2 project number 4s and 1 project number 6. And there's 10 different projects you work through in the Competent Communicator Manual. And just last week, Yadi Kar completed all 10 projects. So you should be getting a certificate in the mail soon from our headquarters in California. And as well, we'll have evaluations, and then we'll have impromptu speeches, which is called the table topic session. And so that's when any of you have an opportunity to volunteer to come up here and give a speech. But in order for our meeting to function properly, someone needs to take a role each week. And I'd like to have our different people taking those roles explain their role this week. So can our A counter please explain your role as A counter, Jacques?
Hello everybody, my name is Jacques and I'm a counter for today. So while you will be speaking, I will count your ahs and as a filler word, so please try to avoid this kind of things. And by the end of meeting, I will do a report. Thank you.
You're married tonight as Janar. Can you please explain your role in the word of the day?
99% of people present here are not native English speakers, and it's quite natural that we do make mistakes. And in my role today, I'm here. And in my role today, I'm to pay attention to good use of English and to provide suggestions for improvements. And the word of the day is prejudice, which means an opinion or idea which is not based on facts or logic, or it's a noun. For example, after recent terrorist attacks, there is a strong prejudice formed against Muslim-looking people, unfortunately. So I encourage you to use the word as often as you can, and at the end of the meeting I'll provide a report on grammar errors and on how the word, how frequent the word has been used. Thank you.
Okay. Our fellow on time this evening is John. Can you explain your role as timer, please?
Hi again. Today I'm a timekeeper, and my role is to help you to organize your time while speaking. And when you see the green sign, it means that you reached the minimum length of your speed, and you can still continue talking, but don't go over to see the red sign, and yellow ones means you are on halfway between the maximum and the minimum length of your speak. Especially people who will talk when they will answer for table topic questions. So try to reach green sign.
So thank you for introducing your roles. And one of the things I need to admit is that I am prejudiced. So whenever we go back to America, I talk about how great Kazakhstan is, how great the people are. And so everyone's like, enough, I've heard enough about how great Kazakh people are in Kazakhstan. There you go. And I go, yes. So prejudice can be in a positive way, but generally it's in a negative way. And so the example Janar gave is when people are prejudiced towards people and lump everyone together in a wrong way. And one of the things that when we're here and you're giving a speech or evaluating, we don't want to be prejudiced towards anybody, but we want to evaluate people objectively and as positively as we can. Well, let's move to the first part of our meeting, which is the prepared speakers. We have 3 speakers tonight, and we have no ice-breaking speech tonight. And typically, if you want to become a member of the club, you have to give your ice-breaking speech, which is a speech about yourself. It's only 3 to 5 minutes. And you have to take one of the roles of counter, grammarian, or timer before you can join the club as well. And so we have many new active members who are signing up. Speeches are filled out for the next couple of meetings already. So if you're interested, you have to sign up ahead of time. But before I introduce our first speaker, can I please have our first evaluator, Yadikar, please explain what the purpose of project number 4 is and what you'll be looking for.
The speaker I'm going to evaluate is doing project number 4, and this project is called How to Say It. So the main aim and area I'm going to look at are the words. The words are really a powerful communicator of ideas, and so not always necessarily to make them, because we are not native speakers, again, very complicated and difficult ones. In order to communicate your ideas clearly and vividly, there are a lot of words to choose from. So I'm going to especially look how today's speaker is going to use, what kind of words she's going to use, and of course what kind of sentence structures will be chosen by her to use to convey her main message. Thank you.
So our first speaker tonight is someone who's been a very active member of our club from first getting involved, not just in meetings and signing up to do speeches, but also being active in the social events we've done, in hiking or other things. I think she loves the outdoors. She's someone who really enjoys serving and helping in different ways. As she already said earlier tonight, she's the blogger for our website. So she does a great job of informing people of what's happened in our meetings. And I'm hoping to see her in a couple weeks take the role of Toastmaster, because it's one role that she's afraid of. So join me in welcoming Aisha Malkambayeva as she gives her speech entitled
How do you choose your social environment, your friends and life partner? Undeniably, you notice the outward appearance first. Only after that, by socializing and living through some life experiences, you get to know a person's inner world, the soul. Beauty fades, wealth is changeable, and only soul remains for a long time. Quite often we are interested by beautiful cover and want to see the same beauty inside. Our expectations can be met, but it happens not so often. Sometimes the opposite situation can occur. There can be hidden, fragile, unrevealed, beautiful soul behind the ugly look. In contrast, it's quite rare to meet a person whose inner world is as bright as it shines outside, illuminating everything and everyone around them. We can observe the integrity of their body, mindset, and soul. Aspiring to achieve that, many people care about their appearance, sometimes even chasing glamour and chic. They would like to look more attractive, admirable, and elegant. We care about our hygiene and health, which is implicitly right and correct, but usually we don't care about our soul. It defines a lot of things, whether we are happy or unhappy, feel hurt or depressed, love or hate. This is why care about our souls needs our close attention. We wonder, worry, and wish on a daily basis. Our minds are busy all the time. We feel it exactly. Our minds are our channels or filters to our souls. We feel it every day with different emotions and confirmations. So our minds are like a filter, while our soul is very similar to a vessel. As I said, we feel it every day with different thoughts. So, have you ever tried to think about nothing and just enjoy the current moment? This condition is called mindfulness. When we are in that condition, our mind and consequently our soul start purifying. After that, filter thoroughly with your soul, with your mind, what to put, be picky and try to put only good things in your soul, and what really matters for you, what really makes you happy. It is called mental or emotional hygiene. Alternatively, focusing only on one thing at a time can help you to refresh your mind. I remember a time when I was studying at the university, I used to play volleyball. Sometimes the game was so captivating as I forgot about the whole world. It seemed to me that only game existed that time. So keeping my focus on only one thing at a time, on my favorite hobby, allowed me to to look at the difficulties from another perspective and make right decisions. So keeping mental hygiene can help you to pick only good things to put in your soul and to extract useful lessons from negative experience. The following story could allow you to understand how to keep mental hygiene. Once a famous person asked his patient to remember all brown things in his room and close his eyes. Then he asked how many blue things he remembered. Of course, the patient outraged and said, "The task was different. I did not remember any blue things." Then the famous person replied him, "When you pay your attention to negative things, you would not notice any positivity." It also means that if you are looking for any imperfection in people, you would not notice any good things in them. Nobody is perfect. Of course, seeing the whole picture is great, both pluses and minuses all together. But it can assist you to avoid fraud and frustrations. However, it can be more useful for you if you try to perceive everyone as your teacher. As you know, every teacher differs with their teaching methods. So one can teach you the art of gratitude, while another one to protect yourself. In conclusion, I would like to tell you a little parable which can help you to realize what you fill your life with. Once upon a time, an old Indian revealed one life truth to his grandson. He said, "There is an inner fight in everyone. It is very similar to a fight of two wolves. One represents evil, envy, jealousy, egoism, judgment, lie, etc. Another one represents good. It is kindness, peace, love, hope, and so on." The story touched the grandson's heart so deeply as he became thoughtful for some time and then asked, "So which wolf wins?" An old Indian smiled and replied, "The one you feed." Knowing this truth helps managing your life. We direct our energy towards where we keep our focus on. It is your own choice what you would fill your vessel with and the vessels of your beloved ones.
Thank you very much for an excellent speech, including using visual aids, which is a great item to do. And I especially like what Aisha said about speaking, because Toastmasters is a place, even when we evaluate the speeches, we try and focus on the positive things people do, how they connect with us, and focus on those things as well. Well, I'd like to have our second evaluator tonight. Gahar, can you explain what you'll be looking for as you evaluate Andre's project number 4?
Okay, so tonight Andre is doing his project number 4, which is the same as the one Aisha did. The name of the project is How to Say It. So what we're looking for is, what Andre should be looking for is to use the right words. I won't repeat the things Yadikar said. I will just add a few purposes that they are in this project. Andrei should try to avoid using unnecessary words. So one of the purposes is to try to say a lot in a few words as possible. And another specific purpose that the speech number 4 has is try to eliminate jargon and some special words that only a few people would understand. So if you're talking about something, make sure that the audience understands the words. So try not to use the special terminology. And as always, I think any speech should any speaker should have a correct grammar, because that makes the speaker credible, well educated, and just gives a good impression. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in Andrei's speech.
How much time does he have for this speech?
Andrei, 5 seconds.
Awesome. So I want to introduce Andre before he comes up. So Andre is someone that I best remember when he was table topic master in the last year, and he was the great Houdini, playing a magician, and it was very memorable. I did not expect it from him, but he did an excellent job and set the bar very high for future table topic masters. I wasn't here last week, but I also heard that Alia and Olga did a great job table topics. I'm sure taking some inspiration from what Andre did then. Some of his favorite movies are sci-fi movies, especially a movie called K-Pax. So we have something in common. I enjoy sci-fi movies because they make me think. He's trained as a lawyer, but recently he's made some career changes and moves to be more involved with education and teaching other people, which I think is a brave thing to do, to choose to follow your heart, your passions, and not just a career because it's what you're doing. And so join me in welcoming Andre Reshetnikova. He gives project number 4 entitled Education First.
So I'm afraid I will be talking about negative things. So what I have to say to you today, I have to say to you about problems in education, stumbling blocks, and vicious circles, mainly in the US education and in our dear Kazakhstan. So looking through the reports of different news agencies, I saw following topics popped up on my screen of computer: racism, transgender discrimination, taser usage, and shootings. And all this happens not only in the typical schools, but on the well-known universities of US. So some Yale College students report about the racially charged climate in their campuses. They describe being subjected to racial slurs, casual insults, and tone-deaf comments from classmates. The college administration seems to do a lousy job by urging students to avoid wearing some insensitive Halloween costumes such as black faces, headdresses, and turbans. Students feel that universities are the place of censure and prohibition. I was able to find a very recent hijab story about Benghazi, who served as a teacher in one of the Missouri universities. He dragged his 14 years old relative from the school just because she wasn't wearing a Muslim scarf. So here goes another story about fraternity Sigma Alpha Epsilon. Story about this accused by undergraduate student of denying her entrance to only white girls' party on the basis of her race. Racism is not only a problem in education. Following caught my eye. The kids in Texas are more likely to get tasered in school than in jail. It was a story about Nino de Rivera, a 17 years old graduate who attempted to break up a fight. Unfortunately, his actions were seen as interfering and not helpful at all by the officer, and he got tasered and received huge brain damage and was necessarily found in coma during 2 weeks. So, if the same happened in a jail, for example, the Nino de Rivera would not have been tasered at all because the percussive and shocking devices are not banned from these facilities according to the Texas Administrative Code. So, topic of shootings at US schools rises to the surface with alarming constancy. President Obama on Saturday once again drew attention on a war against war weapons after 3 men died and 9 more wounded during the massive shootings in a Planned Parenthood family in Colorado. He regularly issues calls for tire restrictions after such mass shootings, and it seems to no effect, or little effect. Visibly angry, he told reporters in October that the US seems one country on earth, one advanced country on earth that has such kinds of things happens every month. So, as to our education problems, according to the UNICEF report in 2008 about our elementary second school teachers being badly underpaid, our kids have little school meals, high health checks and immunizations. The number of kindergartens across the country makes students, children with disabilities and special needs being identified only in primary schools. And on the whole, the children with disabilities have little access to education in our country because we don't have schools engineered in a way to support them without any architecture structure designed for the children with disabilities. And we have little professionals trained in this field and no technology. The topic of inclusive education remains highly popular in Kazakhstan. And as for equality of primary and secondary education in our country, we are obviously not best in the world. According to the 2012 PISA tests based, Kazakhstan holds 59th place among 65 countries in mathematics, 52nd place in science, and 65th place in reading. The Kazakhstan kids are below average among the compared with OECD students, for example. So having all these numbers in hand, I just raised my eyebrows when I saw the quotation from the former US Secretary Condoleezza Rice of her speech she gave in October 2006 while visiting Kazakhstan. She said that she was able to see for herself the high level of education of our nation. Thank you.
So thank you, Andre, for sharing some interesting information from us about education and some of the challenges that we're facing in the world today. Well, I'd like to, before I have our next speaker, I'd like to have Greg as the evaluator to explain to us what the goal of project number 6 is.
Speech number 6. While it should incorporate the first 5 projects that you go through, all the speeches should be like that. It shouldn't just be on one emphasis. It should be bringing everything that you've learned from all the other projects. So in this case, the first 5 projects. The emphasis should be on conveying your message using vocal variety. And some of the tools at the speaker's disposal is like pitch, so high and low, volume, loud and soft, and pace, speaking slowly and speaking quickly. So that's just some of the things that I'll be looking at.
And how much time does she have for this speech?
5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, 5 to 7 minutes. Well, our final speaker today is someone who asked her what her favorite movie, and she goes, "Wow, I really don't watch movies," because she's making movies. She can make them on her phone. She's very talented. She makes videos. She posts them on YouTube for Toastmasters. But if she did have a biographical movie that she'd like, it would be about Beyonce. If you remember one of her prior speeches, she sang a little bit from Beyonce, so I don't know if she's going to sing today. Maybe she'll dance. I'm not really sure. But she's going to be doing project number 6, vocal variety, on lessons she's learned in her 22 years. So join me in welcoming I'm Nursetova.
Last week I turned 22, and I just wanted to make this speech very specific to share with you about 22 things that I have learned in my 22 years. I just sat down, I just realized that I'm 22. Anyway, I feel myself like I'm 17. I think everyone feels younger than they really are, right? So here are the list. First, family first. Nothing can be compared with having family. Money, fame, luxury life. It's great if you have them all, but the parents that you have, they are the only people who praise for you, who loves you. And if you are a parent, then it's just such a blessing to have your own family and kids. Love yourself. Each one of you has something unique. If you still didn't find it, try to find it, because you have one. And just accepting yourself and loving yourself is really important. And remind yourself by saying, do you remember the song by Bruno Mars, Just the Way You Are, right? Because there's not a thing that I will change, 'cause you're amazing. Just the way you are. Okay, people are the power. The word, I wouldn't be where I am today without the help of countless people. My teachers, my family, my friends, colleagues, mentors, coaches, bosses, everyone. It is so overwhelming. And for me, it is very important to be in a good community. And even attending Toastmasters Club is just because of you. And people are really the power. Forgiveness is the road to the happiness. You know, we live our life, and most of the time we don't understand people, or people don't understand us. We have so many issues. But these things causes the offense or anger, but try not to carry it with yourself. Just take it easy. Don't miss your chance. Do you remember the song by Eminem, Lose Yourself? And do you remember the lyrics? Okay, I'll sing, okay? You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss the chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So, if you feel like it is the right moment, try to use it. Don't let it slip. The best accessory is a smile, or a red lipstick, in case if you're a girl. Life is shorter than you think. We never know how much time do we have, how long time do we have to live, and we usually don't appreciate what we have. I'm here today, but who knows, will I be there tomorrow? Will I be here tomorrow? Yeah. Women play an important role. No, I'm not going to discriminate men, but I think that women plays an important role at work, at family, at home. You know, you have to be the best, you have to do the best, And at the same time, without forgetting about yourself, trying to look good all the time, and, you know, supporting, loving, caring, inspiring should comes from you. Sometimes you need to stop, you know? Time goes by so fast, day after day, week after week, years by years. And sometimes we don't understand where we are rushing for. And sometimes we just need to stop, take a pause, enjoy the silence, the music, whatever you like. So, trying to concentrate more on the moment. Expectation can bring a frustration. It's good if you were hoping for the best, if you were expecting something good, but sometimes it is, if your expectations do not fit to your reality, it can bring the frustration, which causes the, I don't know, sadness. So you should shelter yourself from the sadness and to be more concentrated, accept the things as they are, as they really are. No one can please everyone, and it's absolutely okay. The only person to whom you should prove is yourself. Because the point of view might be different, the opinion might be different, but the only person to whom you should explain yourself, prove yourself, is you. There is no bad experience. We're all different, we're all living our life, we all make mistakes, but the important thing is to learn from that mistakes and try to be wiser, try to be more wiser, try to be try to be wider for the next time. I'm just getting very excited. Everyone has something to tell. Actually, I really love to listening, you know. Everyone has something interesting backgrounds. And when you are listening, the stories are really incredible. Everyone has something to share, to tell. If you didn't get what you want, then don't be sad, because I believe if there is something for you, you will get it in the right time, on the right place. And if not so, then there is something better prepared for you than what you want. Nothing lasts forever. We usually create drama from nothing, but after some time we're just looking back and understanding that this didn't worth your time, didn't worth your nervous, so try to don't worry about much and to make positive things only on positive things. Any problems, solve yourself. Before I start to work, I've never had problems because my parents did all things was done for me, but I start to work and I understood that if you do have some problem, then you have to solve it yourself. No one will come and do something for you. If you cannot say something good, they don't say anything at all. This is like my favorite phrase that I usually say. And the last one, not the last one, 21. We attract what we think. I didn't realize that it is possible that your thoughts can be material, that you attract what you think. If you are concentrating on positive things, you attract. If you're thinking about problems, about crisis, about money problems, you know, you're attracting all of the negative things. So the thoughts is important. And the very last one, 20 seconds. I still have a lot to learn. Thank you.
And she still has one thing to learn. Speakers never thank the audience at Toastmasters. We thank you for taking the time to prepare your comments and share them with us. So let's give another warm round of applause for all the speakers. So before we vote, if we can have you guys do one thing, just turn to the person next to you and share one lesson that you learned tonight that you're going to take away with you. You don't have to worry about coming up with 22, just one thing that you heard from the three speeches, not one from each speech, just one from all three. What's one lesson you're going to take with you away from this meeting and try and apply in your life this week? Go, you've got 1 minute. And then after that. All right, it's time to vote now for Best Speaker. So as you vote for Best Speaker, remember we had Aisha showing her as a vessel. Think about what's on the inside, focusing on what's on the inside, not just on the outside. It's an important lesson. We had Andre talking to us about different problems, challenges we face in society, and how education can help with those. And then we had Ayn sharing about 22 lessons from having lived 22 years. Be thankful I didn't give that speech. I turned 50 next week, and you here had to wait for 50 lessons, which would be a long time. So please vote for what you think is the best speaker. So Aisha, Andre, or I'm, and then pass them up this way. So we'll give you a minute to do that. Doesn't matter what color. So pass those up here. And so as we're passing those up here, as you're voting, do not be prejudiced. Women, don't vote just for women. Men, don't just vote for the man. Don't be like, oh, I like her hair. I'm prejudiced for that. No, vote for who was the best speaker of the men. Andre, there's more women than men today. You're in trouble if we're prejudiced in that fashion. But I know Gahar, educated in the UK, she's done away with all her prejudice, that she is going to vote as the UK do, right? Honestly, objectively. Okay, please pass them up if you haven't already. Vote for your speaker. Okay, now we turn to the second part of our meeting, which is evaluation. So I'd like to invite our first evaluator up tonight, Yadi Carr, to give her evaluation. Why?
From two.
Okay. So we do ask when someone's up here that you be quiet in the back row. If you need to talk, please leave the room. So if it's not assuring. Thank you.
Asha, I was really looking forward to your project number 4 with the positive prejudice. I suppose this is my second evaluation. I don't remember in fact, but I think so. Well, let's go down to the evaluation. What I really liked is the content. Whatever you said is really, close to me, and it really describes the things. And by using very vivid words, a lot of nice descriptive words, you conveyed the message of what you were talking here. No need to say that the perfect, you used grammar structures. It was a great pleasure for my ears to hear such a perfect speech. The things here mentioned which I would like you to improve, the first one is the title itself. Well, as I understood, your message was about the soul and the kind of appearance. So there are, you know, two things you were still comparing, but the title is one. So I would say, like, I don't know, my ideas are vessel and a river, or you know, something which would retain the audience memory what the speech was about. Because when I say vessel, well, you wouldn't probably remember what the speech was about. I really liked using visual aids, which were not too much, you know. With visual aids, it's really sometimes difficult to find the right things to show. And secondly, sometimes visual aids go over your speech, they're too much. So that's really perfect. You used simple things, but they were so noticeable, you know, this black wolf and white wolf, it really remains in my memory. Another thing, I would say, couple of times you tricked over the words. Probably that happened due to having very long notes. So one of the things we learn here is to go over a speech without any notes, but with some steps, right? So one of the steps which was showed by Andrei tonight is to use short notes, to keep your notes shorter. So what I personally do in these moments, I try to, in the short notes, write just the point I want to go next, or this linking expression I have to start with. So that really helps me. And I could remember a couple of examples you gave. So here, the examples were really nice. The thing I found you have to improve is the topic itself. The topic is too broad. So that's, you are really kind of close to me in this, you know. When I started my speech projects, the first ones were pretty simple, but then I went for really complicated structures, complicated words. And later on, I learned that, well, it's better to keep them simpler. Maybe because I'm a perfectionist, so that's, you know, that's also because of the language, of English language itself. So please keep it, your next speeches closer to you. We would I would personally be really glad to learn more about you and stories from your own life. Thank you.
Thank you for a very thorough evaluation. Well, our next evaluator tonight is Gauhar Junusova, who will be evaluating Andrei's speech. So join me in welcoming her.
First of all, Andrei, I would like to thank you for your speech. Ever since I became a member, I was always looking forward to your speech because you always seem very knowledgeable, you know, someone who knows what he's saying. I think it's a very unique quality, and everyone should strive to have that quality, because sometimes the speech is really good, the preparation is thorough, but you feel that, you know, that speaker does really know what he's saying, and that's clearly not about you, because you seem very knowledgeable, and I think you have some expertise in that topic, which is education. I was quite surprised to hear that you've switched careers, and because it seems like you've been in that field for a long time, and you've done your share of research. So your project was how to say it, number 4, and I was looking for the usage of short words and simpler sentences, and I think you've done a great job at doing this. I would suggest you to mix shorter sentences with longer sentences, because sometimes I felt like you were making a reference to some like statistics or research, and it was a bit difficult to follow. So I would say either try to use shorter sentences or try to make a pause after you're saying like according to like OECD statistics agency, and then it would be easier to for us to absorb the information, because I felt that it was a bit too fast. You used a lot of vivid and descriptive words. The ones I can remember were stumbling blocks, racially charged environment, and I think those are really good words to use, for this topic of education. I didn't notice any jargon and unnecessary words. Your grammar was really good. That makes really good impression, and that makes you as a speaker more credible. I really liked the way you organized your speech. So you made a comparison of two education systems, the American education system and the Kazakhstani one. So I think that made the speech, very, it was flowing and it was easy to follow. Again, I really liked the conclusion when you were saying that you were raising your eyebrow, which was ironic. And again, I think that was a good twist to this project number, because you were using, I think it was a rhetorical device. Again, I think it was a great speech. What I would suggest, try to add pauses and try to, use shorter sentences. Maybe sometimes when you're using like statistical information, it's better to make that reference a little bit shorter. Try to avoid using notes. I know you had like short notes, but then when you're looking at the notes, I feel like you're losing the train of thought. And when you're not using notes, it just looks like you know all about education. You're just you're talking and you're making your opinion. I think you did a great job, and I really enjoyed your speech, and I'm looking forward to hearing your next speeches.
Yes, thank you for that. Again, thorough evaluation. Our final evaluator tonight is Greg. He will be evaluating Iam's speech.
Okay, my evaluation is based on everything I've learned in 46 years. Ian, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Bad news.
I was going to give you the bad news anyway. I was driving here today thinking about this evaluation, and I was thinking, this is serious. This is speech number 6. This is getting up there. This is not icebreaker material. And I thought, I was expecting you to razzle and dazzle us, to quote an expression. And I thought, to do my job as evaluator properly, I'm going to have to be hard on you. Take the kid gloves off. None of this, you did a great job regardless of how your speech was. I was prepared to go in there and let you have it. So that's the bad news. The good news is that I think you actually killed the speech. When I say killed, it's a good word. Killed the speech means you kicked it in the ass and said, that's how you do it. I think you have, vocal variety is the topic, and for me, at first I thought this is what I'm listening to is just how I hear you normally chatting with the girls or out the front, and I thought, hang on, this is not vocal variety, not what you're supposed to be doing. But then it occurred to me that your naturally speaking voice is pretty much, that's how it is. You have a lot of expression in your voice, just regardless. So you come up here today to give your speech, and you didn't have to do anything different to pass this vocal variety test. You just have a lot of passion in your voice, and the passion is basically your voice basically goes up and down and left and right depending on how you're thinking. So you didn't have to do anything different than what you normally do. So I think that was fantastic. To give you some examples, family first. I think that was your first point. straight away when you said that, you could see yourself thinking, and it was like really meant a lot to you, and your tone just changed just a little bit. It's a small inflection change, and that was just showing how serious that meant, what that was meaning to you. And you can just see that just a small change in the tone. There's other points the same. You were talking about people, and then you said the word bosses. It's like everyone is afraid of their boss, and it's like just the way you said bosses. It's like just a small change again. It's just only needed to be a little subtle change, and it was, and then we sort of all knew what that meant to you. Same for one of your popular sayings. If you cannot say something good, don't say it at all. It's like almost like a negative thing. Like if you can't say something good, don't say it at all. And the way you said it really quickly said to us, well, she doesn't. We wouldn't like her to say that to us because it would be like, stop being so negative. It's like I don't need to hear that shit, yeah. And it was just the way again, just a change in pace. Now this is all these comments make for a great speech, I thought. But this is without even your singing. I mean, we all knew you could sing, and then to be able to do that in this vocal variety, it was just made for an even better level of speech. It was magnificent. The last point. Now the conclusion, the 22nd point, was basically your conclusion. There was no real introduction or conclusions. There was and there wasn't. But I have a lot to learn. The way you said that, it was just sort of like I have a lot to learn, and it was the way a lot of times you think the conclusion would be like some big bang, yeah, or wrapping up what you said. But for me, that was almost like it was said in reflection, and it was like a soft voice, and it was just all you could sort of see you thinking like, I have a lot to learn, and then that was it. And I just thought that was a really unique way to finish a speech, and I thought that was really great. The only thing I can say as a maybe to be hard on you or to give you some feedback is that I think perhaps 22 things is too much to say in a speech. It's like you had to really be rushing through it. I mean, it was a great idea, but perhaps if you had half an hour to entertain us with some more songs and that, you could get 22 things, and Tom could even have his 49 things. But in 7 minutes is too much, I think, and it meant you had to sort of just keep going. You didn't have any time just to pause and to just look around and see us all smiling or whatever. So that was my only comment. So I really enjoyed the speech, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Alright, I always enjoy Greg's evaluations. He tells it like it is. No prejudice whatsoever. You get what he has. What we'd like you to do right now is turn to the person next to you again, and you're going to have 1 minute. And what we'd like you to do is say, based on what you heard of the evaluators here, when it's your turn to give a speech, what will you make sure to do or not to do? So what's something you learned from listening to the speeches and listening to the evaluators that you said, I want to make sure I do this when I give my speech, or I want to avoid this? So just choose one of those things. You'll have 1 minute to share with each other, and then we'll vote for best evaluator.
No, I think so. That's what I mean is if I you always even if you don't know what you're saying, you always I'm not talking like that otherwise. Well, no one's laughing when they're supposed to be laughing because they don't like it. And then I get doing that. So but you don't care, you're confident in what they're saying. I don't care if they don't like it. I'm here, it's my show, you know. And you reject that. Yeah, well, that's why it's happening. Yeah, of course, yeah. I find these better.
Cheers.
Okay, so if I can have your attention again. So we'd like you to vote for Best Evaluator. It's something we haven't done at a lot of our meetings, but actually in most clubs around the world you vote not only for Best Speaker, but Best Evaluator, because a key part of Toastmasters is that what helps us to become better is having good evaluations. And so a key thing when you vote for Best Evaluator, it's not the person who's most critical or point out the most things, but a key thing is who was most helpful. If after hearing that evaluation you said, I can give a better speech because of what that person said, not just because they gave me good advice, but because of the way they did it, I feel motivated to give a better speech. So it's not only content of the speech, but motivating you to give a better speech makes an evaluator. So please vote for Best Evaluator. Pass those up front. And I'll give you a minute to do that, and then we'll be introducing our table topic master for the evening. So as not to distract you, we'll wait for the folks to come in first. Alright, let's pass this up, pass them up. And so the third part of our meeting is impromptu speeches. This is the time of the meeting where everyone has an opportunity to speak if they would like. It's where some people are afraid, but it's a very necessary thing to learn to be able to think on our feet with no preparation. So join me welcoming Galha Pakalova, and she will
So, good evening, everyone. Table topic speech is dedicated to the Donald Trump. I think that most of you knows about him. Actually, some of people inspired by him, but some of people criticize him very much. So, I would like to tell some biography of him. So Donald Trump is one of the famous people in the United States, and he's a very successful businessman. According to the Forbes magazine, he's in a list of billionaires. However, unlike many wealthy people, he's not in the shade. He's never hiding in the shadows. He's always in the public eye. Of course, you can say that he's always in the public because, according to his work, as you know, he has a huge organizations like Trump Organization, Trump Resort Entertainment Company, Miss Universe Organization, and so on. He's also a very popular writer. He wrote many books where he gives vital tips with examples from his own experience, from his life. For example, in the TV show The Apprentice, maybe some of you knows about this show. Many people come to be hired in the organizations of Donald Trump, and everyone, even the 20 years old person who was graduated from the university, can come and can be selected and be taught by the Donald Trump how to run his own business. And he gives many practical advices in the TV shows and explains the mistakes of everyone who flew and advantages of the one who stayed in these TV shows. Nevertheless, he wasn't so powerful always. Trump began his career in the company of his father, and first years he concentrated on the areas that preferred to his father, the rented houses for the people belonging to the middle class in Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. His father made a fortune from the ground up to $20 million, and he taught his son how to earn money. So one day Donald Trump said, "You know, I'll tell the truth. There are so many ways to make a career, but the best way is to be born in the right place and the right family. So do you agree or disagree with this quote?" to invite the car.
Can you repeat the question?
One day Donald Trump says that the best, there are so many ways to make a career, but the best way is to born in the right place and with the right family. So,
thank you. So, I'm really two minds about this question. Used to think some time ago that this is really true. Your parents and their status and their way of life can give you really a lot. If they are educated, you are most probably be educated. If in the opposite they are not educated, well, there is a big doubt if you are going to have a higher degree or not. But recently, as Ayim also mentioned in her speech, that it's really our thinking is a really powerful tool. So there is another question: why exactly you were born to these parents, right? So whether you were I don't know, thinking or previous life made you come here. And one interesting idea I've heard recently from be luckier in life, I suppose. Anyway, thank you.
any volunteers? Would like also invite Jansaya.
So the question was like we should born in rice families. To be honest, I disagree with this statement because, for my opinion, my family and my parents, they are like a sportsmen, and but I don't like I like to do sport, but I don't like do it regularly, every day running or something. But I can spend all my time to do something great, or like a handmade, or like when you don't move and do some sport, some activities. So that's why I think that born in right family for me is when your parents can give you a chance, and when your parents listen you and give you a way when you can choose, and when you can when you can be yourself, and when you do that things that you want to do, and these things will be right not only for yourself, but for your all families, friends, and others.
So I would like to ask the biggest ring in the Almaty. I think that everyone is the biggest ring in the middle. So the largest ring in the New York is the ring which is situated in the Central Park. So it's also known fact about that. This ring was the most favorite place on the cinema. Maybe you remember the films such as Love Story, maybe Home Alone, and so on. and we can watch this lovely place in these films. So this project for the reconstruction of the rink began in 1980, and it was last almost for 6 years, and was spent about a lot of money, but government can't finish the reconstruction. And one day Donald Trump said, just give me the chance to reconstruct it for 1 year, but the government refused him. But after the mass media wrote about it, he totally had a chance. And as a result, he received a building permit, which he completed in 6 months and saving about 25% of money. So according to this story, he said, be confident in yourself. It's really a magnet. It's always attract people to you. Totally they believe you. So what do you think about it? Any volunteers?
So what do I think about being confident?
Yeah.
So I've asked a question about being confident once to my coach, and I want to share with you the answer she gave me. And she said, it's not good to be shy. You have to be confident. But still, when you are too confident, it's bad. Because when you think that you know the things, you are not right. Because there are always the things that you don't know. And when you are shy, it's still not good. So the way, let's say the level of confidence that you should have is adequate confidence. And for example, when I come here and I'm too confident, I may fail my speech if I think I've prepared everything and all stuff like that. And if I'm too shy, for sure you will feel that I'm shy. And what has to be right is being like adequately confident. Like I'm still confident, but I accept that I still can do some mistakes. I'm a person who always does a mistake. Not always, but like by his nature, people do mistakes.
By 1989, because of the financial crisis, Trump was unable to repay the loans which he had taken from the banks. So, as a result, he had a very hard time during the 7 years, and everyone who was around him, the mass media, told they were prejudiced about that he would be bankrupt and that he would fail. But he talked to the banks and they agreed to loan him money as the last chance. And after that, he he still tried to be confident in himself and do the best. So, how to say, it was great difficulty, was able to get out of this crisis, but he done it. So for that time he told, keep with you a notebook with quotes that will inspire you and help in difficult times. Do you have any people or the quotes who would help you to inspire you in difficult situations?
The most inspirational, is it the right word? The most, the example that always, that I always use when I should pass some difficulties in my life is my father, because he's a policeman, and he has very hard character. Yes, he's very strong man, now he's a businessman, and now he has problems in his business. He invests a lot of money, about $2-3 million. Yes, it was not his money. He took. So it is not the question. So he put this money in one project, and he failed this project. And now he had very heavy times. But he don't give up. And when I about 1-2 times a week, I call him and ask him, "Dad, how are you? How are you doing?" He always answers me, "Everything's okay, son," because I know that I have a hard time now, but it is mankind had been in more trouble, and he gave such examples as hungry times in 1934-33 when Kazakhs had nothing to eat, and he gave example of Nelson Mandela, who about 25 years were in prison, and he didn't give up, and wars, and so he always answers me that I am not in the worst situation, so and I'm still alive, and I can beat my problems. So my father is the most influential man in my life.
Sure.
It's my first time being here, and I'm a little bit afraid. But one expression that I often repeat in my head is Gandhi's expression. First they laugh at you, then they ignore you, then you win. Often my surroundings don't understand me when I learn something a long time, or when I spend time with books or with research or with something useful that I suppose to think. But surrounders say, well, what do you do, what is it, and do you really need it? You're so young, enjoy your time and drink, dance, and so on. And I really think that you really need to do what you want to do, and if you want to improve yourself, you should do it, and that is why I like Gandhi's expression.
Any volunteers? What's your name? In addition, around about the years, he wrote about this situation, about these years, that many friends, many acknowledgers who were around him were betrayed him. So he wrote, "Life presented me a very important lesson. The one who once betrayed, in difficult times will change again to you." So, what do you think about the reason to forgive and understand the people who betrayed you in difficult times, and to give them a second chance or not? So, is there a Sapar?
That's why we have you give your name at the beginning of the meeting, and she writes it down, and she can call on you.
Should I write wrong name?
Good idea.
So the question was, should we forgive dead people who betrayed us? Okay, I think everyone faces some situations when someone betray us. So I think that it depends on a person who did it, because sometimes people really understands their guiltiness, so they may come back to you and ask for forgiveness. But on the other hand, some people just want to get some benefits from being with you again, being friends again. So I think it depends on how to deal with the person, depends on that person, and depends on you as well, because of your how, in what extent you are able to forgive that person and build a relationship again, starting to build a relationship. So, what else? I don't think that I have related examples from my life, because I'm not so I don't have so huge experience of life, but I have one example. Maybe you know, when Steve Jobs was fired from his company, and then he came back after a while, and he did his best, and the Apple company is the best technology innovative company today. So sometimes it's better to come back, forgive those people who betray you, and it might finish as something great. Thank you.
Last question.
Sure.
I think there are several things before thinking about forgiving someone or not, and there's two things to consider. So first of all is just the general fact that this is what psychologists say, that every person changes day by day or year by year, and a person whom you know in 2015 is different from the person in 2016. So we should know that, and if that person did something wrong in the past, it does not mean that he will do that again. And we should think about that before forgiving someone. And second thing is that every person has its ethical limits. So if the person who betrayed you did something bad, and that even just that went under your limits, so at that time you just have to think about it before forgiving that person. But in conclusion, I want to say that memorizing bad things is not good for us.
We'll let you go, but we're out of time. We're going to have to go a couple minutes long after 9 o'clock then, so you know, we won't finish at 9.
Alright, I do believe that people we have to give them the second chance because they did already mistake and they has a, let's say, they have experience, reputation, and I do believe that people can change. They do changing every day, every time, as she said, yes. And mostly he will not repeat this mistake. And reputation is just an illusion, you know. Every time everything is changing, and if something happens good, something happens bad. And if someone betrayed you, you can give you a second chance to fix this, how to say, fix this, what? Fix your relationships between. So, second chance, this is good, but not third. That's enough.
The recipe success by Donald Trump is simple: a little more courage, hard work, and a positive attitude to life. Trump admits that the world is like a big mirror, reflecting all of our thoughts and actions. So, thank you.
So thank you, Gahar, for sharing some interesting things about Donald Trump and giving us things to respond to. Now it's time to vote for best table topic speakers. So you should have one more piece of paper. So please raise your hand as I call your name as we vote. Gadi Carr, John Saya, raise your hand. Jadra, Dauren, Arai, Sapad, Merwit, and Galan. Okay, so please vote. And then as we're voting, I'd like to call on our people who took the roles today to come up and give their reports. First of all, I'd like to have the A counter to get Jadra to come up and give your A counter's report for today.
So, dear friends, here is the report. Tom, no A's and M's. Janar, 3 A's. Tojan, 12 A's. Aisha, 5 A's. Gauhar, 16 A's. And 8 M's. Andrei, 9 A's. Ayim, 7 A's. Yadikar, 10 A's and 10 M's. Gauhar Aksakalova, 2 M's. Jansaya, 5 A's and 3 M's. Dorian, 3 M's. Sapar, 2 A's. Mariette, 3 A's, 3 M's. Galum, no A's, M's.
Now I'd like to call on Janar as a grammarian to come give grammarian's reports.
Well, every time I come here to the meetings, I'm really amazed at the level of English skills that all speakers have, and this meeting was not an exception. And there were just minor slips of tongue, I think. But I would like to say that some words are mispronounced throughout all the meetings that I haven't attended, like, like answer. It should be answer, said. It's not said, but said again instead of again. Company instead of company. Mistakes instead of mistakes, and so on. And I think that these all other words can be checked for the right pronunciation. And there were some grammar mistakes, but I think that we all should put more emphasis on use of present simple and use of gerund. For example, it's not like I love to listening, but it should be I love listening or I love to listen. Or so. And also there was an expression that I think it was not to do sports. It should not be to do sports, but go in for sports. So in general, everything was, very professional, and I would like to reiterate that everyone's level of English is very high. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to call on our timer this evening. Do you have a timer's report?
Today our our meeting started on time, 7:30. So our Toastmaster Tom talked very well. He was always on time, so it's very good to mention. And all of the speakers gave the project. So first one, Aisha, she talked about 6 minutes. So I showed yellow sign, and speaker number 2, Andrei, also 6 minutes and yellow sign. Speaker number 3, I showed red sign, but I think it's okay because she mentioned 22 things and it's needed time. So just 1 minute out of time. Evaluator number 1, Yadika, I showed red sign and she talked about 4 minutes, just 1 minute out of time. And actually all evaluators was out of time for 1 minute, and I showed for all of them red sign. And topic master Gauhar Aksakalova, she started on time, about on time, but she spent 25 minutes for about 5 minutes more than needed, but it still was good. Yatsika, when she was answering 2 minutes, I showed yellow sign, Jansaya 1 minute, green sign, Jadra 2 minutes yellow sign, Dauria 2 minutes yellow sign, Arai 1 minute green sign, Sapar 3 minutes red sign, Miriver green sign, and almost on time. What about Akant Jadra? She talked about 3 minutes, and Gramarin was also on time. Most of the people I showed red sign, but all of them was on time.
I forgot to mention one thing, that the word of the day was, used very actively by Tom, and I think that Tom deserves a big round of applause for using it for about 10 times, I think. Use it once. Thank you.
Well, now we come towards as our meeting wraps up, we have a few things. Just want to do a general evaluation of our meeting before we close. We pretty much started on time. We had 3 speakers. We pretty much were mostly on time, I think, except for 1, correct? And then, but all the evaluators went overtime, which pushed us into table topics, having to cut a little bit short. So they're complete, thorough evaluations, but we got to condense them a little bit. Sometimes less is more. That would be one phrase to take away. But overall, I again enjoy the level of English, the preparation of you for speeches was good. Any comments from the floor? If anyone would like to make any comments, something in particular you enjoyed about the meeting today? Before we announce. Seeing none, we'll move on to announce our best speaker tonight is I'm. So congratulations, I'm. Our best evaluator tonight is Greg. Best evaluator, best speaker went together today. Maybe there's collusion there. This has never really happened before, but for best table topic speaker, the votes are too scattered. We don't have a best table topic speaker. So like 4 people got it. About 3 or 4 votes each. So we cannot choose.
Everyone did a good job.
You're all winners today then. So before I adjourn our meeting, we do want to ask for people to take roles, not in next week, but in 2 weeks, on December 23rd, because it's a holiday in 2 weeks. So next meeting for December 9th, we already have speakers. Alia Shaikina will be giving a speech. Jadra, right, your son, to give a speech. Arai Lim, is she here?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's a different Arai Lim. For Arayla Makrum Betava? She's not here. And then Aganim? Is she here? I guess we'll need to check on those 2 for speakers. Would anyone care to take, we need evaluators for next week and table topic master as well. This is for members. Andre?
I could be
evaluator, okay. To give a speech? You're going to have to sign up with.
I can be a backup speaker.
You can be a backup speaker?
Yeah.
You're already signed up to be a speaker.
Yeah, it's a backup.
No, you're signed up. So. You're on to be a speaker. It's okay. So anyone else, any other members to be evaluator, table topic master? Table topic master, okay. And then we have, anyone to be, do you have anyone to be odd counter or timer or grammarian? So, you want to be grammarian? No, this is next week. So December 9th we're meeting, but in 2 weeks, as soon as we finish sign up, we'll make an announcement. We'll not meet on December 16th. We are meeting next week. Asiel. You can take a roll for next week? Okay, so we're talking about for December 9th.
What about 16th?
So I can.
The 16th is a holiday, so we're going to have a social on the 16th. Janari can be Akanta.
So I can
Well, we have grammarian already. Also Han said to be grammarian already. So we need a timer and evaluator. You'll be timer. Okay. And can you come up afterwards to get your... Anyone wants to be evaluator next week? All right.
What about
What about what?
Yeah, we're replaced for the next week. What? I mean, after week?
So, in December 23rd,
Yes.
so we already have speakers. Gollum, you're signed up?
Yes.
Icebreaker Gollum signed up. Asiel Bakubala, is that? That's you? Okay. And then Begzad signed up, and Adil. Is Adil here? Adil Aristan Galia. Okay. So, before I adjourn, Yadikara has an announcement for 2 weeks when we have a social, just to let, can you come up here and then I'll...
So as soon as we're having a holiday on the 16th and 17th, we would like to invite you to join us on skiing or skating. On the 16th. Let's vote. So how many people would like to join skiing?
Snowboarding.
Or snowboarding.
Yeah, or snowboarding. 1, 2,
versus
3,
skating,
4,
versus
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11, 12,
10. Okay, who would like to go for skating on Medel itself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. So the closest really, the vote is really
Where
close.
is skiing? Шимбулак or
Shimbulak.
We have two separate groups.
We can have 2 separate events and all meet for dinner somewhere together.
So let's do like this. I will check if there are any special offers on Chocolife. Yes, we can use.
Special offers.
There is still. It's running, right?
Okay.
Okay, so follow us on Facebook and you will know where to join us, okay?
All right, so I adjourn our meeting.